there, my name is Marla Neufeld. I'm a Florida licensed reproductive attorney in Florida and former intended parent. I worked with a surrogate to have my own children and practice reproductive law at Greenspoon Martyr. I'm here to talk to you today about a question I get fairly often about whether you can force the surrogate to have an abortion or selective reduction if something is wrong with the pregnancy, such as an abnormality or even a cosmetic defect of the fetus. So you first have to consider that every state has different laws regarding surrogacy. So I'm licensed in Florida, and we'll be talking about Florida laws regarding abortion and selective reduction in the context of surrogacy. So our Florida statute provides that the surrogate has the sole source of consent with respect to the clinical intervention of her pregnancy. And what that means is while the contract will go into whether or not the surrogate will abort or not abort or reduce if asked to do so by the intended parents, ultimately the decision to do so is that of the surrogates. So while she may be in breach of contract, and which would allow the intended parents to possibly stop payments to the surrogate if she doesn't have an abortion, let's say for example, although she agreed to do so in the agreement, a judge in Florida will never make a surrogate have or not have an abortion, as that decision ultimately does relate to her body. So all that being said, this certainly is a legal risk of the process, and that's why it's so important to take the right steps at the beginning of the surrogacy process to really make sure that the parents and the surrogate see eye to eye on issues like abortion and reduction. So the way that's done, a big way to get that completed, is to ensure that you do a proper psychological evaluation before even entering into your surrogacy agreement with a mental health professional that specializes in reproductive issues, to make sure that this issue is discussed at length with the surrogate, the intended parents, and everybody together, to make sure that everybody sees eye to eye on what circumstances, if any, would the surrogate agree to have an abortion or a selective reduction. If you're working with a surrogacy agency, this is going to be one of the number one issues that they're going to look to before matching an intended parent with a surrogate, to make sure everybody sees eye to eye. And it's also why it's important that everybody be separately represented, the intended parents and the surrogate be separately represented by an attorney, so that when the contract is reviewed, everybody can discuss this issue freely with their respective lawyers to make sure everybody sees eye to eye on abortion and reduction. If you have any further questions regarding surrogacy in Florida, please feel free to reach out to me. Again, my name is Marla Neufeld at 954-761-2929. Thank you so much.